going to be taking a look in the past. We're going to be reacting to our 25-26 Tottenham Hotspur player predictions. And if my memory serves me correctly, I don't think I'm going to be coming out smelling of roses in this. So let's get into it. Let's get into it. All right. Player of the season. What did we predict at the beginning of the season? So Sim predicted Romero and I predicted Javi Simmons. If Javi never got the ACL, maybe he would have got it.
He might have. I don't think he would have got it, but he would have been maybe in the running if he had a good end.
The thing is, if Javi, on the back of that goal against Brighton, had like a flourish at the end and kept us up, I reckon he could have got it.
He might have been in the running, but he did go obviously long spells. Obviously, Romero was never going to win it. He had a great start to the season, I felt, but really tailed off like lots of players. But him especially being a captain, 2 red cards. Need I say more? Romero didn't have a good season. It's interesting. We did this was the revised predictions, and the initial ones we both had Porro, which is not bad. That wouldn't have been a bad shout.
No, I don't think Porro's had a very good season. I think he's had a good end to the season.
Yeah, but we're talking about player of the season for us. None of us has had a good season. Porro's still probably in our top 5 performers.
Yeah, maybe. I think our top 5 performers have been Polinia, Gray, Richarlison, Danso. Maybe not even Danso. I think those 3.
Maybe Van de Ven.
But yeah. I mean, Van de Ven had a sport. Yeah, Van de Ven probably.
And probably is Porro. I mean, who else?
Yeah, I guess. With all been said and done now, season's over. Who is the actual player of the season for you?
I am gonna give it to. I'm gonna give it Rishi. I think he's been a consistent source of goals. Worked his socks off. I know he's not. Look, he's not the perfect striker. We know that he's got lots of flaws to his game, but whenever he's been fit, pretty consistently throughout the whole season. I don't remember too many long goal droughts or anything like that. I think obviously he has suffered a bit with injuries at times, but I think he's probably been our most consistent player in a way. So probably him.
Yeah, I'm going to give it to João Polinia. You know, massive goal. Massive 2 goals. Those Wolves goals and the goal at the end of the season against Everton deserve it just for that. The performance at Aston Villa, and the other goals he's chipped in with this season. He scored a couple of overhead kicks as well. Yeah, I think it will be João Polinia for me. Young player of the season. Who have we predicted for that? Sim gone for Matisse Tell. I went for Lucas Bergvall. I don't think either of them deserve it, to be honest.
I think Tell's not been terrible.
How many goals has he scored?
4 goals, 2 assists.
Yeah.
I mean, for a 20-year-old, it's not like horrendous. It really isn't. And also, but you've got to remember there was long spells he was out the team. I think he's made strides forward this season, Tell.
So you think he's our young player of the season?
I don't think he wins our young player of the season, but I don't think it's like a terrible shout. Like, but Gray probably wins it because he's probably been our best young player, and he was like actually one of our best players for small periods of the season. Especially just before that period where Frank was on his way out and Tudor's early days. Gray looked like the only one who actually cared. So fair play. I did think there was points of the season where Tell was playing really well and was unlucky not to be in the team, and Frank was overlooking him. I think under De Zerbi he's been pretty good. I mean, he's been all right. He's been decent under De Zerbi. I think he's been a bit better. And I think throughout the season, I don't think he's gone through too many long spells where he's been awful. I think by and large he's been inconsistent at times, most of the time, but I don't think he's ever had like long spells where he's like had like 10 bad games. He's always like sprinkled in some good games in there, I feel. So I think he's made some strides forward. I think he looks better this season than he did last season.
Yeah, I agree with that. I do agree with that. Bergvall, unfortunately, hasn't had a good season.
Yeah, what a shame for him, because player of the year last year. And even in the beginning of this season...
I don't even blame him, though. I don't blame him. I blame Thomas Frank of why Bergvall's not kicked on this season. Under Ange, he had a really good thing going there in his favourite position in the 8. And Frank was playing him on the left wing, number 10, and he never played him in his natural position. So I blame fully the coaches of why Bergvall hasn't kicked on this season.
Yeah, I really hope this is just a setback and not anything wider with him. But I still believe in brilliant talent. Even beginning of the season, remember, he saw that goal against West Ham and he had some really good performances. So I think clearly it was a learning curve this season. Last season, he took a few months to adapt. Once he adapted, he was flying. But what you got to learn probably as a young player is just because you've reached that level doesn't mean that you're going to stay there. You need to figure out how to stay there, and he hasn't quite done that this season.
You see this so many times with teenagers where they go up and down and up and down, and when they get to a certain age, certain maturity, that's when 19. You see. Yeah, exactly.
That's the reality. So we need to be a bit patient with him, but it has been a shame that he hasn't quite hit the heights this season.
So, surprise package of the season. Sim went for Richarlison, and I went for Archie Gray. Both of them are decent shouts, to be honest, because Richarlison's ended up our top goal scorer. Archie Gray has got the official Player of the Season award.
True. That is a surprise.
So I think these are both actually decent shouts.
Yeah. Obviously, Richie, beginning of the season, everyone was ready to sell him, and everyone was ready to... I mean, not to say they're not ready to sell him now, but I think everyone was not expecting much from him this year, and he ended up being our top goal scorer, so that's fair play to him. And Gray, I think he has made strides this season, especially more seniority in the team, the fact that he was stepping up a lot of the time. I think Player of the Season was probably a bit much to give it to him. Like, has he actually been our best player this season over the long stretch?
But even him getting Young Player of the Season with the amount of young players that we have is still...
he's still done well.
Yeah.
Because, like, that spell we're talking about where he was our best player, you're talking about like a 5-game spell probably, and that they did stick out in the mind. But like even before then, he had some good displays, but he wasn't regularly in the team all the time. So yeah, I don't know if he was our Player of the Year, but he's definitely made strides. I've been happy with him.
Yeah, I think both of these good shouts for surprise package. Most improved player. Sim went for Pape Matar. I went for Wilson Odobert. Sim saw Sarr score from the halfway line in pre-season and was like, that's it, he's got to be improved. Sarr has definitely not been the most improved player.
No.
Odobert, though, I don't think he's been the most improved player.
But he has improved.
But he has improved. I think, like, up until the point that he was in, when he got injured, he was having his best moment, wasn't he? And
it's such a shame, yeah.
I think Odobert has been very much improved this season.
He's definitely improved more than Sarr, so fair play. He was really starting to look good, wasn't he, before that moment? Such a shame. It was because we were playing him on the right wing. Kudus was injured, and he was actually playing really well and starting to really actually add some stuff to his game as well. I remember he's taking more shots, hitting the post a lot. He scored a couple of goals and looking so much more dangerous. So massive shame that he got that ACL. We really hope he comes back stronger. But yeah, he definitely improved more than Sarr. Sarr just didn't improve at all.
By the way, just looking back at surprise package, Kinski's definitely winning that.
Oh yeah, Kinski's winning that. Fair, yeah, he should have won that one.
Who has been the most improved player this season?
Someone says Van der Ven. Well, he improved his availability. That's a good point. Who's been the most improved? Gray's not got a bad shout. Probably give it to. Who would you give it to? God, no, who's bloody improved this year? No one.
People
really.
in the comments are saying Spence, but I don't know if it's Spence.
Spence? Danso? I mean, Danso may be a bit better this season than last season. No one really in the forward line.
I don't think it's Danso, because I think he's performing at a similar level what we saw last season. Last year was decent as well from Danso. I'm talking about most improved from last season to this season.
Maybe it's Gray. Because Gray was good last year, but he was good for being a centre-back. But this year...
Maybe it is Kinski.
Maybe it's Kinski, yeah. Kinski has improved a lot, to be fair. He has, compared to where he was last year. So,
all right, Kinski. All right, now we're getting into who we think our flop of the season was. Sim went for Ben Davis. I went for Matisse Tell
we
for
initially
flop of the season.
both went for Brennan Johnson and then changed it.
Yeah.
Davis obviously didn't really play. Did he play at all?
He did. He had a few decent games, didn't he, at the start of the season before he got injured?
I'm trying to remember him ever playing.
I'm pretty sure he played this season. He did.
How many games did... I mean, we all know who's won this one, though.
Yeah, this one's Mwani. He played 3 games, scored 1 goal.
1 goal? Who did he score? I can't remember. Who did Davis score against?
Look, Mwani's definitely one flop of the season. It's
Davis
not
is
Tell or
harsh.
Davis.
He injured his ankle fairly early on, so I can't really say it was a flop, but he is going to leave on free, probably. Tell, I don't think he's flop of the season. I think there's been a lot worse than him, but you can argue he's not had a good season. I would say he's had a better season than last season, and he's still young. I think if there wasn't as much pressure on him, maybe we'd look at him in a different light to how we do now, because he's playing every game. There's so much pressure on him to do something. Like when he doesn't, we're all like, oh, he's shit. And then, but, you know, if there was another player in there and he was just filling in for him, maybe we'd be a bit more positive about him. You know what I mean? Moani's won that hands down, obviously.
Yeah, by a mile.
Absolutely shambolic.
By a country mile. Who was a better signing for us?
I guess the only other one who might be in for a shout would be Vicario.
Yeah. Definitely Vicario.
But there was, what probably saved him was there was that spell, wasn't he, where he was actually phenomenal, like around the Monaco game.
What about Romero?
Romero's got a shout. I mean, I think he's got a shout, but he did have a lot of good games, which people just gloss over. And people just remember
He was
the bad
also
games.
at mistake for a lot of goals we conceded, particularly early doors this season.
Yeah, he made
and all those
mistake.
red cards and. You know.
I think Vicario was worse than him, in my opinion. But Vicario also did have some good spells. But no, I think Moani, it has to be Moani.
I mean,
Sarr
Sarr could be in for a shout for flop of the season.
I think they're in for a shout for runner-up. No one's...
No, yeah, 100%. 100%.
No one is battling
100%.
Moani.
Well, I was going to ask, who was the better signing for us? Moani or Timo Werner?
Timo.
It's got to be Timo, right?
Timo. I mean, Timo actually did things. Yes, he missed chances, but he was in the position to miss.
Moani did have a good Champions League campaign.
That is true. Yeah, he did. He was good in the group stages and in the knockout. He scored against Atletico, didn't he? So, but I think overall, you got to say Werner was a better signing.
All right, now we move on to best
Someone
signing.
says actually flop a season, Frank.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, he's the only one who
Frank
rivals
over Moani,
yeah.
100%.
Yeah, you're right, Thomas Frank.
What about Igor Tudor?
Igor. Now we're getting to Igor, because he lost all 5 games.
0% win ratio.
Oh, how can you? It's hard to overlook that as well. Oh man,
Igor Tudor wins it.
Igor Tudor.
Can we not give it level to Igor, Frank, and Moani? All three of them.
Probably all on the same level. Yeah, I'm happy with that.
All right, best signing of the season. We both went for Javi Simmons. I think Thomas Frank has blood on his hands why he's not won this.
Yeah.
You know? Utilised him in completely the wrong way. How many times did we say when Frank was our manager, he was getting in all the right positions, doing all the right things, but he had no one around him? Acres of space around him, no support whatsoever. So it's all on Thomas Frank why Simmons hasn't won this. He's got the talent to win it, but we all know who's won this. This is João Palhinha.
João Palhinha. Well, see, a lot of people in the comments saying Kudus.
I think João Palhinha, he's literally saved us from relegation.
He did save us. I think if obviously Kudus got injured in January, so if he hadn't, he was probably way out in front.
Oh, you know January. What? The chat have got this one spot on. De Zerbi.
Oh, yeah. De Zerbi's definitely the best signing. Easy.
De Zerbi, best signing of the season. 1,000,000%. Million percent.
He saved us, really.
Yeah.
I know João made a big impact, but I think if it wasn't for De Zerbi,
correct.
Maddison said it, Gallagher said it, if it wasn't for him, we would have been down already.
Correct. And he's made players believe again.
Yeah.
That's the main thing. Top goal scorer. Sim went for Richarlison, and I went for Johnson again. Ole, ole.
And he never happened again, ole, ole.
I know. I think after this prediction, I don't think he ever scored after this. Because I think we made this prediction after the first few games of the season, after the transfer window shut.
Yeah, I think he might have scored in the Carabao, maybe.
No, he scored our first 2 Premier League games.
Yeah, he scored against Brentford and City. And everyone was like, okay, maybe Frank's knows.
Did he score in the Burnley game?
Sorry, Burnley and City.
Burnley, yeah.
What's it called? I think he scored in the Carabao against, was it Doncaster? But after that, yeah, he was flopped massively.
Massive.
I mean, he's got a shout for flop of the season, but
yeah,
obviously left in Jan. Yeah, I think...
He's flop of the season for Palace.
Yeah, true that. But look, Richie, top goal scorer. Everyone was calling me a crazy man at the when I said this. Everyone said, you're nuts. What do you mean top goal scorer? Well, who's laughing now?
I am... I'm going to say if Johnson would have stayed, he would have ended up a top goal scorer.
Of course. I think he did. To be fair,
Richie is a great shout, by the way.
He did end on. He did end on 4 goals, I think, Johnson. So he wasn't like I think, but he did score
Scored more goals than Tell.
Same amount as Tell.
Same amount as Tell, which is crazy when you think about it.
Yeah, but actually, Tell, if you looked at the minutes played, I think Johnson was actually playing more minutes than Tell even then.
What? The whole season?
Not the whole season, but at that when before he left. Copenhagen, he scored in the Champions League. That's right. Yeah, fair play to Richarlison. He got a golden boot. Ends the season, our golden boot.
Yeah. Top assister, last one. We both went for Javi Simmons. I think Kudus won it, didn't he? And
Actually, Simmons won it.
Oh, Simmons won it?
Yes, we both got that.
All right, come on. We got one right.
Actually, if we're going Prem as well, they got 5 each. So either way, Simmons was first.
Yeah. So Javi Simmons, the only... Well, you got top goal scorer and assister right, and I got just assister right. So there you have it. Those are our player predictions. Let us know who you think should win each and every one in the live chat. Big up to Carefree Lewis, by